Hey, what's up, everyone? My name's Lionel, and I'm your host for LT Productions, and you are watching I Watch You Watch. We are covering Sistas. This is Season 9, Episode 3. I appreciate everyone for coming to my channel. Please like this video. You can also go on and subscribe, and you can leave comments below. Now let's get into this week's episode. Okay, all right. So, at the end of the episode of last week, we saw that Karen heart is giving out, or whatever's going on. She's just out of it. So the new doctor, I think starts with a V. I think it is. But anyways, he comes in and he says that he's got to do an emergency C-section on her. So everyone has to go. We know that Zach, Aaron, and Lisa is going to go into the operating room. Only 2 people are supposed to be in there. However, Lisa's finagle things for her to get on up in there. The ladies are banding together, emotional. It looks like Andy's pretty strong. She goes and visits with Dr. Cruz, and she's in fight mode to confront Dr. Cruz and all his crap and what he did to Karen and all that good stuff, or didn't do for Karen, basically. Now he's, I won't say singing a different tune, but he's talking like, you worried about the wrong things. You need to think about your friend in there, and the position of her body, not her position of her body, but what's going on with her body and all that. But you weren't caring at all, sir. You actually said, Chief, the chief of this hospital, actually said it's normal, it's fine, da 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 da. So I was confused on your language on what you were trying to say to Andy. But anyways, you know, Andy says I'm on to you, and we're gonna get you. As people are coping, Zatima, I'll just call him Zatima. Fatima is encouraging Zach through all of this, you know. Of course, he's got a lot of stuff going on, and Fatima's just being his coach, you know. Be strong. For Karen, be strong. For Aaron, go check on Aaron because he wasn't looking too good. Da 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 da. Zach goes and checks on Aaron, and Zach asks Aaron, you know, you are a man of God. Can you pray? Aaron tries to pray, and then he gets all choked up. I said, Lord Jesus. As far as he didn't know what to say. Zach takes over, and he prayed heaven down. It's like, Zach, you talk like you got a connection with him. So I thought that was pretty cool with Zach. You know, if I can get spiritual for just 1 second, he first honored and praised God, and then asked him for what they both needed. You know, so it was cool. It was cool to see different dynamics and different power shifts and how people are reacting to one another, because what is the point in bickering and fighting when other people are fighting for their lives and others have lost their lives? So we kind of break up a little bit of the hospital drama, and we get a little focused on Karen and Danny, and they tell each other their relationship woes. Danny is like, oh, H no. Ain't no way this Penelope person, it seems to be infiltrating and wanting to go after every woman that's within this group. What is going on here? Karen's at this point is kind of flipping the script a little bit. And the things that she used to be so conscious of and not really wanting to partake in, she was asking Danny, did she have a little... I was like, oh, okay. Karen loosening up and needing something different. It seems like in some type of way she doesn't feel like she has control. I'm conflicted with it, because you took control over the situation because you knew that this man wasn't going to be able to fertilize any of your eggs. And now you went on and made sure the other dude fertilized your eggs to make sure that you had babies on standby whenever you're ready to have children. But anyways, Danny's upset, and I think Danny makes a prank call. and she cussed Rich out. Oz loved it. Even talking about his beard. I'm here at BDBs. I said we ain't heard BDBs since Martin back in the day. Shout out to Martin, the Martin Show. Yeah. So they get off the phone. They talk a little bit about Tony and Danny. I think Danny's having, how could I say this? I'm not going to say guilt. Well, she may have a guilty conscience or just feeling bad for Tony. Now, when she was talking with Tony about this whole Alaska thing, she was like, basically, I'm not going and figure it out. But here she's at least relaying to Karen, kind of my fault because of what I did now has sent him on to Alaska. Karen asked, did she want to go to Alaska? She said, no, I'm warm-blooded. I'm not doing all this cold-blooded stuff. So that's out the window. Later on, we see Miss Lisa comes out and it's very dramatic and we don't know what's happening. In another place, Zach goes to see Fatima. And he's kicking over stuff and he's emotional. What has happened is that he's seen that one of the babies are stillborn. And that was very emotional for him to do. Fatima's his safe place. Find somebody that's going to be your safe place. Not somebody that's just going to leech off of you and take everything out of you. There's got to be reciprocation. Fatima is a strong person and she plays her role well. And she is that strong friend. She is that strong lover, that strong woman in many situations. So he's getting emotional crying and then he's like, why did this happen? Why did God do this? Why did this have to happen? It wasn't so much he was blaming God, but he's just like, why did this have to happen like this? And Fatima's there to comfort him. Was there anything else on the other side? So of course the sisters circle laying round about each other and they start getting the news that one of the babies survived and the other one did not. Or at least I was a little bit confused. But I think social media helped me. They lash out when they see Dr. Cruz, and Danny said, "Look, your days are numbered." And then she announces to the whole hospital, he kills black children and black mothers. Y'all better go change your doctors right now. Da 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 da. I forgot when Danny was cussing out Rich and all that. Everybody was looking at her. She's like, y'all mind your own business. Da 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 da. That was funny. Karen's made it out of surgery. Her stomach feels like it's on fire. The other doctor comes in and he does tell her that it is normal. However, we can get you some Vicodin to help with the pain. And of course, Danny said, I'll take some. And then the doctor was like, oh, basically you got jokes. But she's like, I'm not joking. Karen knows definitely that one of the children didn't make it. And of course, naturally she's emotional and all that good stuff. And then they asked, did she want to see the baby? And she said yes. I thought this was the live baby, but was this the stillborn baby? Can y'all let me know? Because I'm really lost. Because she ended up calling the baby Forever Taylor. I said, oh, well, from what I've been seeing from a lot of previews is that the baby is supposed to be named Faith. So the only thing I can really think of is that she's the stillborn baby. But y'all let me know. Please confirm that. I was a little confused. Second thing I want to say is, did you get legal right to call that baby a Taylor? Now my Zatima is kicking in. Because, I think at this point, whomever team you're on at this point, there's no point in it. Like, let it all go. Life happens, and now people are trying to band together to try to get through this very traumatic situation that's happened, you know. But yeah, that was the end of the episode. I don't think anything else happened. Next week, they go back. Karen gets out of the hospital, but you see that she's really going through grief, and you can tell that she's going through postpartum. That was part of my theory as to what possibly could happen to Karen, not as far as the child leaving the earth, but postpartum, because of how bitter she was for the seasons I was watching. Even though she started to calm down towards the end of the season of last season, I was like, well, what if she has postpartum and she's not able to take care of the baby, and then she's got to leave? It softens her, and it makes her have a change of heart and all this good stuff later on when she comes back, and all of this animosity she has towards Fatima would be gone. But that's where my angle was going for, because people think that Karen needs to get her karma and all that good stuff. I'm not saying postpartum should be get back, but it could be something as a way to turn the page in this whole Zach, Fatima, Karen type situation. But other plans did come into play and all that good stuff. So yeah, next week's episode looks interesting. Also, it looks like Andy and that doctor are going to be working to get Dr. Cruz. Now, do y'all think that this is going to be Andy's next love interest? Because you know how they do on this show. I guess I don't see anything, but maybe we need to pick up with this whole Gary thing, because he's like shell shocked. So I don't know what's going on there. But anyways, another good episode. Great job, Mr. Duval. You did that. You did that, sir. And we know that you can show emotions. I saw you on Zetima, especially during season 2 of Zetima. And I believe that you did it on Sistas 2 before. So anyways, cool. Somebody check on Aaron, for real, because I think Aaron's kind of being left out of this whole situation. And he's a father too. So that's all I got. Y'all tell me your thoughts in the comments, please. Y'all think do you think the baby belonged to Zach or Aaron's that went to heaven? Y'all let me know. Like this video, subscribe, and until the next one, peace.